Well, a very good evening to you once again. Residents of Hillbrow in Johannesburg are demanding that the police station be shut down. Community members led by the ANC staged an anti-drug march in the area earlier today. They accused the police of being corrupt and of protecting drug dealers. Irate residents have also threatened to take the law into their own hands if the police fail to act. But for more on this information today, I think we'll be joined by reporter Mangoba Mchunu, who joins us in studio now. Mangoba, very good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Well, certainly these are the scenes that we've seen throughout several areas in Johannesburg and in other parts of Gauteng as well. Hillbrow being the latest. So unsurprising that we find this community marching in that particular area against drugs.
Well, certainly, Griselda, because you'll remember that the issue of drugs in Hillbrow is a long-standing issue. I mean, for many years we've heard about the issues of crime as well as drugs and prostitution in that community. And I think community members saying that the issue of drugs is long overdue, that they take it up with authorities, saying that this issue is really starting to affect even the young kids in that community, saying that children as young as 10 years old are abusing drugs. They're saying that, you know, you find drugs easily accessible to these young kids on the streets, sold as if they're just peanuts or sweets on the street. So they're saying that it's time that they also take action against the drugs, because they're saying that it's really killing the younger generation.
Mangoba, I think of greater concern here. The very same sentiments that we've been hearing in all of these communities are complaints against the police. Certainly, you know, the police minister, the police commissioner, would have a lot of work on their hands. What is being done about allegations of police being very relaxed about the situations in these particular communities?
Well, Griselda, remember that in our conversations with police, especially in issues affecting communities like Westbury, because you recall that Westbury was the first community to raise this issue, where they took to the streets. And that's why we saw the police minister coming in as well. But what we've been hearing from police all along, when we speak to provincial police, when we speak to national police, is that, you know, if any of the community members have allegations, of course, they need to take it to the police. What they're claiming is that these community members are just making these allegations, but they're actually not opening cases.
But how do you take complaints to the police that you don't trust? Because there seems to be a very great trust deficit between the community and the police.
Exactly, Griselda. It's a catch-22, because most community members are saying that, you know, the way in which the trust has eroded with police, you know, some of them are saying that when you go and report a case, for example, in Westbury, the residents who spoke to in Westbury are saying that you'll go and report a case today, and then the person you'll see, the person who's arrested, you will see them again on the streets the next day. So this speaks to the issues of trust between these communities and the police. The communities are saying that, of course, the police are corrupt. They are working in cahoots with these criminals, and that's the reason why they're able to get away with this crime. So they're saying that, you know, it's enough. They want the Hillbrow police station in particular. With regards to today's protest, they're saying that they want the police there to be changed. And I think that's the same sentiment we've heard in Westbury, as well as other areas which include Eldorado Park, where they say they simply want the police themselves to be changed so that they're not able to continue with corrupt activities.
Is there any concern at this stage, Mangoba, that there could be an upsurge in xenophobic violence? Because some of the videos that we saw go viral on social media, in Hillbrow in particular, are of some locals who've been attacking, shambocking some of the so-called Nigerian drug lords. So is there that fear at this stage in these particular communities?
Well, Griselda, certainly not at this stage, because even the residents themselves, they're quite clear. They're saying that this has nothing to do with xenophobia. We are not against Nigerians. And they're saying that we know they are good Nigerian citizens who are law-abiding citizens. And what we are saying is that we want only the bad apples out. We only want those who we suspect of peddling drugs, whether be it Nigerians, whether be it South Africans, we simply want them out of our community. And they're saying that it's clear we allow our brothers and sisters to come and stay with us, but we just want the drugs out of the community. And they're saying that if the police fail to do so, they are going to take the law into their own hands. They told the Deputy Provincial Commissioner today, and they said, if you don't do anything, we are going to arrest them. We are going to arrest even your police if you don't do anything about it.
Now, Mangoba, we're seeing what happened in Hillbrow today. Residents irate, of course, about the situation in their communities. But we've had Westbury, we've had Innerdale, we've had has there been any change in these communities, the first ones who were first up in arms? Any change, perhaps? Are we seeing more police presence, more arrests perhaps being made in some of these areas that first took to the streets?
Well, certainly, I can talk only of the ones that I know of. For example, in Westbury, we know that police have reinforced, they have deployed the tactical response team as well as private investigators in that area. In fact, last night, the police minister, Pegitele, visited Westbury last night on an unplanned or surprise visit of some sort and joined in the crime operation there. And he says that when he spoke to residents, many of them were quite elated by the fact that the police are there. They were able, they told him that they are able to walk on the streets freely. But he said what is concerning him is that there's still very little people that are seemingly walking on the streets. So he says that when he asked them whether the police should remain, there's a sense of fear, certainly. He says when he asked them whether the police should now be removed or if they should continue there, the residents themselves said they want the police to stay there. So,
but this is a very serious state of affairs, Mangoba, because you obviously cannot, the job of the police is obviously to fight crime. Yes. So to have many of them, I guess, deployed in one particular area would perhaps take away resource, one would argue, from other crime fighting activity. But just paint that picture for us. I mean, where a community is literally begging that police be stationed there for as long as possible. And I think,
Crystal, it speaks to the issue of trust, you know, of trying to rebuild the trust between the community and the police. Because you remember, residents of Westbury had said we had had enough for this police. So I think the police must be seen to be doing something. It's very important for them to also ensure that they are seen to be fighting this issue of crime as well as drug issues in these communities. You'll recall that many of these so-called colored communities and so-called communities that are affected by drugs are all saying that we have been neglected by police. We feel that government has neglected us. So I think police will have to seem to be taking it, to be doing something in these communities to try and help deal with this scourge.
Did the authorities say anything about investigating these allegations at the Hillbrow police station in particular, allegations that the community is making?
No, at this stage, when we tried to speak to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner, all he said is that he's not going to respond to us. What he'll do is that he'll try and get somebody from communication to respond to us. I mean, as we speak now, we haven't heard any official word from the police, but we do know that they are going to respond to these issues of the police. So at this stage, there's still no promises made to the community. In fact, the community themselves, the way they were so angry, they said that they don't even want the Deputy Provincial Commissioner to address them. They simply don't want the police to say anything. They just want to see action.
Now, with regard to perhaps some of their demands, would it perhaps be in line with what we're seeing in Westbury with the deployment of the tactical unit to that particular area? Are those some of the calls that they're making?
No. This community is very clear.
Yes.
What they're saying is that they want the police station to be shut down. Sure. But then put a question to them to say, but this might be impractical because this police station does not only service Hillbrow, but it services other communities, Berea and other communities. So don't you think that you're taking it a bit too far? And their answer is simply to say that if, of course, we know that it might be impractical to close the whole police station, but what then should happen is that those corrupt officials, those corrupt police officers should be removed from the police station within a few days. They're saying that on Monday, if that does not happen, they're going to take it up a notch.
I'm sure Mangoba Mchunu, you'll certainly keep us updated and keep following that story. Thank you very much for your time. Mangoba Mchunu, SABC reporter.